All right, good afternoon, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance purpose of the first appearance so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges, and then we'll set your conditions of pretrial release. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've got a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there are 2 assistant state attorneys in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please come forward to the podium. Joe Painter. Afternoon, Mr. Painter, what's your date of birth?
1/20/73.
Joe, I got a warrant for you out of Pasco County for a violation of probation. Mr. Morris?
Your Honor, please, Court Robert Morris on behalf of Mr. Joseph Painter. Joe, what have you been told your bond status is? Have you been told that you have a bond, or have you been told you're on no bond?
I'm not quite aware. I really don't know.
Okay. Well, Judge, Mr. Painter, as I've indicated previously to you and to the state, is in mental health court. We fully anticipated he was going to be released last night, and he had to comply with the program requirement today. We did get in touch with Amy Baldwin. They do know what's going on, Joe, so you're not in violation on that. I would ask the court to reduce the bond down to de minimis bond or ROR, please.
Okay. And Joe, I have an address for you on Amber Drive in Newport Richey. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
5 years.
Do you have a job these days?
I do.
What do you do?
I do low voltage cabling. They're in desperate need of my return.
Okay. All right. Well, the teletype says your bond is $5,000 on the Pasco VOP. I'm going to set it at $1,000, which is, it's not unusual. It's extraordinary.
Yes.
I'll set it at $1,000. That'll get you out. Once you've posted the bond, you're going to get yourself down to Newport Richey right away and talk to your PO and find out when they want you in court and figure out what's going on with that case, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, very good. Thank you. And Kenneth Moore. Morning, Mr. Moore. What's your date of birth?
2/26/72.
Mr. Moore, I have a note here that says you got a DOC hold. You got a prison sentence waiting for you?
Yes.
How much?
8 years.
Okay. The warrant you have here was signed by Judge Ruby. She found probable cause for 3 counts, 2 counts of lewd and lascivious battery and 2 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation. You're going to represent yourself on those charges. You want private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. And Ms. Daly, I don't imagine you mind. I'll leave the bonds for the warrant since you can't go anywhere anyway. I'll leave
for the warrant. They should have been 0. So
well, I'll leave the bonds at $10,000 each. Obviously, you can't bond out, Ken, because you got the DOC hold. Public defender will come see you at the jail. You'll be back in court on the 2nd of April, and they'll try to get your case resolved as soon as possible. All right, thank you.
Okay.
thank you.
Yes.
Maybe excused.
Yes, of course. All right. Okay.
April 2nd?
Yep.
Thanks, John.
Yep. Verdaus Mumni. Afternoon, what's your date of birth?
02/29/88.
All right. Young lady, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toney. Found probable cause for 1 count of retail grand theft. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
Yes, give me 1 second.
right, so it looks like there's a violation of probation in 2018, a withhold on grand theft in 2018, tampering in 2017, adjudicated. There was no action taken on some drug equipment and drug possessions in 2017 and some dropped domestic batteries in 2014.
And young lady, I have an address for you on Laird Drive in Newport Richey. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
For 4 years.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Not at the moment.
Okay. How long has it been since you worked?
It's been about a year.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. I'll have you back in court on April 2nd. Very important that when you get out, you contact the public defender, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to bond out, so.
Well, if you can't bond out, the PD will come see you at the jail before you have to be in court again.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Jillian Smith. After Ms. Smith, what's your date of birth?
May 28, 1995.
Smith, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD, state.
Just this, Your Honor.
My mother is here.
Okay. And Jillian, I have an address for you on Fish Cove Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you lived there?
Like on and off for 12 years.
Okay. And were you living with Mr. Vastano?
Yes. What?
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No.
Okay. Mom, did you want to address the court, or are you just here to see what happens?
Well, I'm here to see what happens.
Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Well, the defendant she owns a home, and this lady, when she gets out, is going to live there.
Sure.
There are children between the two of them, which are in the home, and there's some issue about him coming over to get the children.
Okay. Well, that's going to be difficult. Okay. Jillian, I'm going to set your bond at $100. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Mr. Vastano. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact him through any social media. You don't have a third person contact him. You don't go where he lives. You don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine having contact with him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked, and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they're not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if you wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find him. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. Now, as I understand you have children in common and so forth, you certainly can have contact with your children. It's just you have to be very careful, because if you try to arrange third-party contact to figure that out, then you can be in violation of the no-contact order. If there's someone in the courtroom, for instance, who's hearing me say all this, she certainly can make arrangements on her own, as long as you're not the one that makes the arrangements through her. You understand me?
Yeah.
You understand me? Okay. So you'll be back in court on the 29th of March. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay? Thank you. Dolly Tanner. After Miss Tanner, what's your date of birth?
3/6/1973.
Miss Tanner, you're here on a warrant out of Pasco County. The judge assigned the warrant, found probable cause for a violation of probation and set your bond at no bond. You can't change that one. We'll let Pasco know you're here and ready to go. Give them 5 days to come get you. It doesn't take 5 with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you're still here in 5, they're going to bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Allison Paradiso. Afternoon, miss. What's your date of birth?
On May 24th, 1973.
Allison, the charge is aggravated assault being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I want a public defender.
Appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
Yes, Your Honor. In 2018, there's a violation of injunction for protection.
Am I going to start or into the time?
Hang on.
In
Just let her speak.
2017, an adjudication for grand theft. And that's all I have here.
All right.
Okay. And Allison, I have an address for you on Gibraltar Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
I live with my mother there.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
I've lived there for 3 years.
All right. And does Mr. Anderson live there as well?
He just decided to move in when he wanted to, yeah. I don't know if he lived there. He just got there, 7 days ago?
Okay. So he's been living there for 7 days.
That's all he's got. He's an animal. He's beaten.
Okay. Hang on. I'm not interested in the editorial, all right? It's just the first appearance. All right. You got a job these days?
Does he or me?
Do you? I don't care about him. Do you have a job?
No, right now I'm in the middle of a disability case and I have seizures.
Okay.
I'm trying to take care of myself.
Okay.
Dealing with this.
I'm going to set your bond at $2,500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Mr. Anderson. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also have to hold you up until 4 p.m. today so that if you wanted to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. The no contact, as far as that goes, is if he leaves Gibraltar Street, of course, you can go back there. If you get out and he's still there, then you're going to have to stay someplace else until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time with the sheriff's deputy to pick up your things. You got to contact their office first, and then they'll stand by while you pick up your things and get going where you're going. I'm going to have you back in court on April 2nd. It's very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
I'll be sending it. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Wood. Afternoon, Jennifer. What's your date of birth?
1181.
Jennifer, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. You found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that one. I'll have you back in court on April 2nd. PD is going to come see you before that, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Christine Trow. Afternoon, Christine. What's your date of birth?
11/28/55.
Christine, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
The public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I'm not going to change that one. I'll have you back in court on March 29th. Public defender will come see you before you come to court, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jasmine De Rojas. Afternoon, Jasmine. What's your date of birth?
8/25/95.
Jasmine, I have 5 charges today. I've got a grand theft auto, possession of controlled substance, driving on a suspended license, and 2 counts of resisting without violence. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, pardon me, you want to represent yourself. You're going to have get private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Just these charges, Your Honor.
Oh, well, there you go. Jasmine, I have an address for you on Mobley Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
Since October.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I work at Winn-Dixie as a customer service associate.
Okay. On the grand theft, And the controlled substance, I'll set the bond at $1,000 each. On the driving on a suspended license at $500, and on the 2 counts of resisting, I'll give you an ROR, so your total is $2,500. You'll be back in court on the 2nd of April. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Charlotte Joseph. Afternoon, Ms. Joseph. What's your date of birth?
9/30/85.
All right. Charlotte, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to have you back in court on the 2nd of April. Public defender will come see you before you go to court, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Ann Cook McMahon. Afternoon, miss. What's your date of birth?
9/26/1984.
I have 2 charges today. The first one is allowing an unauthorized person to operate your motor vehicle. The second one is introduction of contraband into a detention facility. There's probable cause for both. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD in both cases, Steve.
She has a withhold for burglary of a conveyance in 2013, and it looks like maybe a child support in 2018.
And Tony Ann, I have an address for you on Gatewood Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
Maybe 2 months.
All right.
But I lived at 13170 Taft Street since 1999.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yeah. I clean houses.
Okay. Going to set your bond on the traffic case. Actually, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on the traffic case. And then on the introduction, I'll set a bond of $1,000. So your total is $1,000. The driving case will be back March 29th. The possession or introduction case will be back April 2nd. It's very important that if you get out, you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Hunter Brewer. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
07/24/99.
Hunter, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on 3 charges of burglary and 2 counts of possession. As to those charges, Hunter, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. What's his history like, Steve?
There's some 2018 stuff in Pasco I don't see a disposition for. I just see where there were warrants issued for grand theft of motor vehicle. 2017 a no pros on burglary of an unoccupied structure. 2017 no pros on petty theft. That's out of Citrus. And that's it.
Okay. In this case, as I looked it up, he was on PTI and got a return, and that's where the FDA came from. Hunter, I'm gonna. Don't say anything. Hunter, please. It's gonna get better, so don't say anything. It's not gonna be good, but it's better. I'm gonna set your bonds pursuant to the rule for the bonds you last had before you went on PTI, which would make them $20,000, $10,000, and $10,000 for the 3 counts for a total of $40,000. They're at no bond right now. That's the best I can do. Those are coming back on the 2nd of April. Public defender is going to come see you at the jail if you don't bond out. If you do bond out, contact him right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Trelane Slaughter. Afternoon, Mr. Slaughter. What's your date of birth?
4/12/74.
Mr. Spotty, hearing a warrant that I signed, you failed to appear in my courtroom yesterday on a charge of no valid driver's license. Ms. Bucker, is this something he can resolve today?
No valid DL.
Yeah.
I don't have his driving history in front of me, but
He's got a hold out of Hillsborough, too.
yeah, just credit time served on
Yeah.
no valid.
All right, so Trelane, you want to take time served on the no valid, and then you can go deal with your Hillsborough County case?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by a jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer, but you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yes, sir.
In case number 19 CT 649, as to the charge that you drove without a valid license, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail, credit 1 day served. Finding court costs is $488, $50 for the day in jail. But that takes care of this misdemeanor. If you got someplace else to go now, Trelane, you're free to go there. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Matthew Wanner. Afternoon, Matthew. What's your date of birth?
5497.
Matthew, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 2 charges, felony shoplifting and resisting merchants' efforts. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll point to the PD. State.
So in 2017, he has an adjudication for grand theft. There's multiple grand thefts in 2017, as well as a possession of paraphernalia in 2017, petty theft in 2017, adjudication for possession of synthetic cannabinoids in 2016, also possession of paraphernalia in 2016, and grand theft in 2016. More grand thefts in 2016, and a dismissed battery, which was domestic in 2014, as well as in 2013.
Okay. And Matthew, I have an address for you on Orchard Way in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
No, sir.
Where do you live now?
Anywhere.
Okay. Anywhere in particular you've been staying, or you've been living outdoors? What's going on?
Missouritown.
Okay. Is there an address in Missouritown where you've been staying?
No.
Okay. Living outdoors in Missouritown?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No.
How long has it been since you worked?
2 years.
Okay. Set your bond to $2,000 on the theft, $1,000 on the resisting. That's a total of $3,000. You'll be back in court on the 2nd of April. If you bond out, you should go see the public defender. If you can't, they're going to come see you at the jail. All right?
Who's my judge again?
Your judge is going to be Judge Merritt. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Gregory Sezel. Gregory, how do you pronounce your last name?
Self, like seltzer.
Self.
Self.
Okay. All right. That's a tough one. What's your date of birth?
7/22/56.
All right. Greg, the charge is driving under the influence. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Do you have to have a certain amount of income to get a public defender?
It's what would happen today if you asked for the public defender. I would provisionally appoint them. If you make too much money, because they'll have a form you got to fill out. If you make too much money, then they'll say, yeah, you make too much money, you don't qualify. But I can appoint them provisionally today if you want, and then we'll figure that out later.
Okay.
All right. And state any history.
Dismissed in 88.
That's it. All right. And Greg, I have an address for you on Thorncrest Avenue in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 10 years.
You have a job these days?
I'm disabled, Your Honor.
Greg, I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on March 29th When you get out, make sure you contact the PD's office, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Tariq Garlic. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
2/23/2000.
Tariq, first thing I have is a warrant signed by Judge Barbie. He found probable cause for 1 count of armed robbery. And then we have a new arrest for possession of marijuana. There's probable cause for both charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I already have an attorney.
Who's your lawyer?
Shell Powers.
Okay. And state, what can you tell me?
It looks like a charge was filed in December of 2018 for burglary in Hernando County. So he has an open case, I believe. Is that correct?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Because it just says it was filed. It doesn't say what the dispo was.
So let's do this. 19. Here's an 18.
The 19 CF4 38.
That's
what
this.
we have here.
That's this, and the other one is closed.
Yeah, and everything else is closed.
He was in PTI on that.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. I've got an address for you, sir, on Painted Leaf Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
2 years.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
No.
As to the robbery, I'm going to leave the bond for the warrant, which is the $50,000, with the condition that you have no contact with the alleged victim. As to the marijuana, I'll set the bond at the schedule, which is $1,000. The marijuana case is coming back March 29th. The robbery coming back April 2nd. So when you see Ms. Powers next, make sure you tell her you got these 2 charges. You got those dates on the 2nd and the 29th, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Justin Henderson. Mr. Henderson, what's your date of birth?
7/17/83.
Mr. Henderson, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear on 3 counts: possession of controlled substance, possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. State, what's the history like?
Well, he has in-state and out-of-state. It looks like in 2000, are these the 2018 charges that he failed to appear on?
Yep.
So, violation of probation out of Pinellas in 2014. 2014 adjudication for battery in Pinellas. 2014 drop petty theft in Pinellas. We got 2013 adjudication for burglary of a dwelling unoccupied. 2010 adjudication for fraudulent use of credit cards. 2009 adjudication, fraudulent use of credit cards. 2009, no action was taken in dealing in stolen property, but there was an adjudication for false information to a pawnbroker. Several counts. Also an adjudication for possession of oxycodone in 2009. Possession of paraphernalia. Possession of legend drugs. Those are all 2009. Habitual traffic offender, driving while license suspended in 2008.
That's probably far enough.
Okay.
Justin, I got an address for you on Northwest County Road 341 in Bell, Florida. Is that where you live?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you been there?
Going on 3 years now.
You got a job these days?
I did until I got arrested in January.
What were you doing for work?
Roofing.
Okay. On the felony count, I'll set a bond of $5,000. On the 2 misdemeanors, $2,000 each. That's a total of $9,000. I'll have you back in court on April 2nd. If you get out, you should contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
John Stevens. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
8/18/1963.
Mr. Stevens, charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'd like to resolve it right now with you if I could.
I don't know. Today, is this something we can resolve today?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
He's got a book over here.
Okay. State's not ready to resolve, unfortunately, John. So we can get you a lawyer and see about that bond if you'd like.
Could I?
Go ahead.
Sorry, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Could I have an ROR, please?
Well, all right. Well, let's one thing at a time. Do you want me to appoint the public defender?
At this point, I'd like to hire my own attorney.
Okay, that's awesome. That's
Get
awesome.
out.
All right, hang on. State, tell me about the recent history.
Yes, in 2018, he had driving while license suspended, as well as a failure to appear.
But
Just hang on, John. Hang on. I'll get back to you.
And I don't have his driving history, too, so I don't
Right.
have that to look at. But a violation of probation in 2017, back in 2017. Failure to register motor vehicle in 2018. Driving while license suspended, another one in 2018 in a different county. Felony petty theft 2017. Another petty theft 2017. Obstructing law enforcement without violence 2015. Petty theft 2015. Grand theft 2015. Driving without a valid license 2014. Petty theft 2014. And then there's several out of state, looks like in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, John, I have an address. I can't read your address. It looks like Vero Beach. What's the address?
I'm currently staying on Wakefield Avenue in Burkesville.
Okay. What's the address there?
24704 Wakefield
Okay.
Avenue.
How long have you been there?
Like 4 months, 5 months.
Are you working these days?
I'm a carpenter, Your Honor. I do remodeling, kitchens and bathrooms, etc. I'd like to address something that the prosecutor said. I had a failure to appear, but I was in custody until it was dismissed, and that case was adjudicated. That was resolved.
Okay. I understood that from the way she read it to me, John. There was no conviction for failing to appear.
I won't miss court if you were to release me.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna reduce the bond, but I'm not gonna release you ROR because just based on the circumstances, I'll reduce it to $500, which would be about $100 if you get a hold of a bondsman. I'll have you back on March 29th. So when you get out, make sure you tell your lawyer you got to come see me on the 29th of March. All right?
I'm having some real issues though regarding the fact that, Your Honor, I'm a Republic citizen. I'm not a federal citizen, and I feel like that.
Okay, John, hang on a second. John, I'm not trying to be rude, but just hang on a second. Let me just tell you something. I read all of that in the probable cause affidavit. I'm real familiar with those issues. All I can tell you to do is bond out and get a lawyer, and we'll go from there. All right? So we'll deal with all that stuff in due course.
Could I please get on record today that I'm requesting my immediate release, that I'm being held without any jurisdiction?
Sure, you can put that on. You can anything you want to put on the record. I see here it says you're a dignitary of the Republic of Illinois. Is that right?
No.
Oh.
I never said those words to any person ever.
Okay.
I'm a sovereign resident of Indiana.
Oh, of Indiana. Okay.
I'm a resident of all 50 states because I'm a Republic citizen. I'm a citizen of the Republic of the United States of America. That I pledge allegiance to the Republic.
Right.
I'm a people. I'm not a person or a citizen of the federal.
Like I said, John, I've heard all this, and listening to your criminal history doesn't sound like it's worked out too well for you in the past either. But
I've just become
the bond is $500, and I'm done, and you're done making a record. Have a seat, Kenneth Craig. Hi, Ken. What's your date of birth?
6/12/83.
Ken, the charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I don't know. Appoint the PD, State.
Yes, Yes, Your Honor. In 2011, an adjudication for disorderly conduct, as well as in 2006, a driving while license suspended. In 2005, it says there's an obstruction without violence, but it doesn't show me the dispo. And then an adjudication withhold on intent to sell, manufacture, deliver Schedule 1, I guess marijuana, 2002.
All right. Ken, I have an address for you on Gatewood Avenue. Is that where you live?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you been there?
Like 2 months.
All right. You're working these days?
No.
Okay. How long has it been since you worked?
Few months.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today, so they're going to let you out. And you're going to be back in front of me on March 29th. Your homework for coming to see me is, A, find a job, and B, start saving up the money to fix your license. Doesn't look like it's that much. It shouldn't be that much trouble. But you want to get that license fixed as quick as you can, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, March 29th. Thank you, guys.
So you got Mr. Stevens. Is your date 29th?
Yeah, naturally. All right, thanks, Joe.